right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So last class we were discussing electricity chapter, right? So the heating effect part alone was left out. That's what I remember. So we will discuss that and we'll enter into magnetic effects of current. Okay. So what is this heating effect of electric current all about? By now you guys should know it. So what exactly does this heating effect of electric current means? So heating means heat getting induced or generated. So heat getting generated due to the electric current, right? So that's what is heating effect of electric current. So how exactly is this heat getting generated? Can someone tell me what exactly happens inside a conductor? If suppose you take a conductor,
Resistance.
what is that? Due to its
resistance, heat is produced.
due to the resistance. Okay. Okay, let's observe it like this. So if I take a conductor, let's try to answer a few questions. The conductors mostly is made up of metals, right? So what do metals have inside them?
Ions.
Ions. Do they have ions?
They're
Metals
made up
just
of
like they're made up of particles. Okay. They have something called as free electrons, right? So they have free electrons. So what is the meaning of them?
We can lose electrons easily.
The electrons can get removed easily. And with respect to the context of electricity, we can say that these electrons can move freely within a conductor, right? Even at normal temperature, what will happen? There is a concept called as thermal agitation, which you will learn in your higher standards. So what happens is within a conductor, due to this concept of thermal agitation, means excitation of those elements due to this temperature, the electrons get knocked out, as a result of which they can actually move within the conductor. Okay. So what will happen is initially the electrons will move in some random direction during what time? If you take a metal just like that, they will move in some random direction such that their velocities get cancelled out. So we need not worry about all those things. So how to make these electrons move in an aligned path? What are we going to do?
Connecting a battery.
pass electricity through it.
You will connect a potential source across it. You will connect it to a battery, to put it in very simple terms. So when you connect it to a battery, what is going to happen? These electrons will start moving in a path like
Positive
this. So positive, negative. So electrons move from negative to positive. The electrons get repelled due to negative charge, no? So the electrons move from the negative to the positive charge, and this is the direction of current. So during this time, what will happen is, since initially all the electrons had different velocities, when you connect it across a potential source, each electron will initially have different velocity, due to which what will happen is there will be collision taking place between them. So what is the meaning of collision? They will come in contact with each other for a certain amount of time and they will go back. So during this process, what will happen is there will be a heating effect that will get generated. This is the simplest explanation that I can give you. Beyond this, I don't want to go. Okay. So remember, in this world, one form of energy will get converted to another, right? Suppose I take a rough surface and I take a block and pull it on the surface. If I keep pulling it for a longer duration, where there is friction present here, then what form of energy can get generated from here? There will be heat energy. I hope everybody knows this, right? In a similar context, what will happen is these electrons undergo collision, due to which there is going to be heat energy that will get generated, and that is what we call it as the heating effect of electric current. All these in-depth details, you learn it in your 12th standard. As of now, you need not worry about it at all. If you just know the outline, that is more than sufficient. This also I explained because if there is any question based on assertion reason, you will be able to answer it. Okay. Next, let's look into the mathematical details of it. If suppose you consider the current that is flowing through this conductor to be I, Okay, and let the resistance of this conductor be R. Then the potential difference which is connected across the conductor be V, and let T be the time during which the charge Q flows across this conductor. Okay, so what is heat all about? Heat is all about energy, right? Remember one more thing. I'm trying to connect the dots. Okay, can someone define energy?
The ability
simplest
to
definition.
do.
Yes, or the capacity to do work.
W could be.
What is the meaning of? So, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this capacity or ability to do work? Why are we using the word work? So, the meaning of energy here is, remember this statement, okay? Please make a note of it. Energy is nothing but work only, but whatever work you are going to do will always get converted into some form of energy. That is why this definition is going to come. For example, I have a ball lying on the floor. If I lift it to a height h, okay. If I lift it to a height h, there is weight acting on this object in the downward direction, mg. So what is the formula for work done? Work done is equal to force into displacement, according to the formula. Force is mg, displacement is h. So what is this mgh? This you would have seen, right? Is this not the gravitational potential energy? Guys, are you able to understand? So this gravitational potential energy formula, where did you obtain it from? From which definition did you obtain? You obtained it from the concept of work done. Okay. So have this in your mind. Whatever work you do will always get converted to some form of energy. It can either be potential energy, kinetic energy, or heat energy as well. Okay. Here, what is happening due to the collision that is happening? That is the reason why C. The definition is like this. The work done in moving the charge Q through a potential difference V is VQ. That is why they are trying to relate this heat energy to work done. That is one point I wanted to stress. Therefore, the source must move energy equal to VQ in time t. Hence, the power to the circuit is how much. So, there are two things, guys. What is the basic definition of potential difference? It is the amount of work done per unit charge. I hope everybody knows this, right? So, from this, if I write W is equal to V into Q, okay, W is equal to V into Q. What can I call this work done as? This work done is what is heat. Let me write it in a separate page. I want everybody to make a note of it. This is just a different version of observing it. I know I'm sure that everybody knows the formula, but I'm trying to explain what is the inner meaning behind the formula. Okay, concentrate. Okay. I have a conductor. The conductor is connected across a potential source of how much? V. Due to this V, there is a current of I, and in some time t, the current I is being flowing. Okay. Now I have a question. Since I'm interested to calculate heat or calculate power, okay, these are the two important contexts I'm going to concentrate upon. So heat is a form of energy. Just now I told you energy is nothing but for you to calculate the mathematical form of energy, what is it you need to use? You need to use the formula of work done. So according to this chapter, V is equal to W by Q. That is the definition of potential difference, which implies W is equal to Q into V. Accepted? So
Yes, sir.
we know that I is equal to Q by T. Correct? That is the definition of current. So I take T to the other side. Q is equal to I into T. Guys, does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I is equal to Q by T, which implies Q is equal to I into T. Now what I'm going to do, I'll take this and substitute it here. So I into T multiplied with V should give me what? Should give me the amount of work done. But this work done is what is getting converted to heat according to our logic. So H is equal to, what is the formula now? IV into I into T. Is this what you have learned? Right? Now we can apply the concept of Ohm's law for a conductor provided. So we can apply the Ohm's law here. V is equal to IR into I into T. I can write it like this also.
I square RT.
So it is I square RT. Next. Similarly, I can write I is equal to V by R. So V into V by R into T is what I can write. That is V square divided by R into T. So there are three formulae with respect to heat. What are they? VIT, V square divided by R into T, or I square into R into T. Right? Similarly, if you need to calculate the power that is getting delivered within the conductor. So power is equal to what? The amount of work done by time. But work done is again getting converted to form of heat. So can I write it as I square RT divided by T? Cancel it. Is it not I square R? Or V square by R, or I, or V into I? So these are all the mathematical definitions of power and heat. Okay, you can make a note of it.
So what is quantization of charge?
What is the quantity of?
Quantization of charge.
Quantization of charge. That is not needed for your thing, but I'll explain what it is. You can first make a note of it. I'll explain it. Did everyone complete noting the above formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the quantization of charge, since you asked, I'll show it in a page where this concept is actually involved. So it's indirectly there in your textbook itself. See. This is there, no? The SI unit of electric charge is Coulomb, which is equivalent to the charge contained in nearly 6 into 10 power 18 electrons. Okay. So we know that electron possesses a negative charge of 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. The electric current is expressed by a unit called ampere. Okay. So have all these numbers in your mind. Now I have a question. How did you get this 6 into 10 power 18 electrons? How did we know that
Sir.
one sorry? How did we know that 1 coulomb of charge? Yeah, tell me. I'm not able to hear it. Is someone speaking? Is someone speaking? No?
No, sir.
Okay. Listen. So the statement goes like this. Who can answer? 1 coulomb of charge contains 6 into 10 power 18. My question is why? Who can answer?
It's fixed value.
It's very simple. Huh? It's a
Fixed value.
need not be, right? The fixed value is only this thing. 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb is fixed. Even that can be calculated experimentally, but that's a different story. So 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 is the only fact that we know. If somebody asks you what is the charge of an electron, that's what you would have learned in chemistry also in your atomic structure. 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. But nobody has told us that 1 coulomb of charge exactly contains 6 into 10 power 18 electrons. I'll give you a simple logic. You guys think and tell me. It's based on unitary method. You go to a shop, 1 pen costs 10 rupees. 10 pens will cost how much?
100.
100.
How do you get it? If you take it as x, you will cross multiply it. This is not the unitary method. X into 1 is equal to 10 into 10. You got it as 100. In a similar context, 1 electron contains 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb of charge. How many electrons will contain? Let me call them as n electrons. Contain 1 coulomb of charge. If I put a question like this, then what are you going to see?
So it will be 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19.
Yes. Yes. So 1 into 1, you will cross multiply it. 1 into 1 is equal to n into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. You can use your calculator and see 1 divided by 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb will give you 6 into 10 power 18 electrons. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, instead of asking 1 coulomb of charge, if I ask you, I need n electrons to produce q coulomb of that charge, where the q can be 1, 1.5, 1.25, anything. Okay, q coulomb of charge. And if I give the name of the charge of the electron as E minus, okay, then what is the value of q? Q into 1 will be
Number
equal
of
to
electrons.
n number of electrons multiplied with E, right? This is
Yes,
what
sir.
is called as quantization of charge, where
Oh,
n should be an integer. Okay, so this is what is quantization of charge. Again, estimating some higher order questions. I've just explained this to you. If you know, there is no harm in it. Okay, I hope things are clear. No confusion, right? See, sometimes
yes,
if it is
sir.
beyond your level and if I feel that you will get confused, I'll omit it. Okay, even if you ask a question, I'll not be proceeding, because there is a possibility where you will get confused also without, if you don't know the basics. See,
So
this is all about.
I
Yeah, tell
have
me.
a doubt in the last part of electricity. I kind of got disconnected, so
Tell
I
me.
couldn't hear you.
Yeah, tell me. Tell me.
Okay, so work done can be written as VIT, but
Yes.
energy can also be written as VIT. So how can we really differentiate? I mean, how are they
That's what
different?
Different
this way,
types
if you
of
need
energy.
this
I
different
mean,
types of
one is
energy. One of the
joule.
comps.
Okay.
What is it? See, did you understand this? Whatever I explained, I tried to connect the context of energy and work.
Yes, sir. I understood all of this.
That one you understood, right? So what I
Yeah.
did is I tried to calculate the electrical work that is done by the potential source that you connected. See, when you connect a potential source, what is happening? When can you say work is done? When
When it is
see,
moved from, okay.
when it is moving. Actually, to be more specific, applied force should cause displacement in its direction. This is what is work done. Okay. So if you take an electron, as soon as you connect the potential source, what is happening to this electron? The
They
electron
move
starts,
from
they're moving. So
Move.
who is applying the force here? Electron is negatively charged
Battery.
and the battery is
voltage,
negatively
the
charged.
battery.
It is the repulsive force. So who's doing the work here? It is the work done by the battery. So work done by the battery, can I write it as V into Q? That is electrical work done according to the second formula in this chapter. V is equal to W by Q, correct? This V, I'm leaving it as it is. Q, I'm trying to write it in terms of I and T. So Q is equal to I into T. So if I call this work done, the work done by the potential source is what is getting converted to heat energy. Like how I derived the formula for potential energy. If you observe the formula of potential energy, there is nothing like a specific formula. What did we do? We tried to calculate the work done by which force? Work done by the gravitational force. So whichever force you're trying to talk about, the work done will be, the name of the work done will go to that. Okay, for example, work done by gravitational force will get converted to gravitational potential energy. Work done by electrical force, that is V, is what is getting converted to heat. Okay. So that is how we have derived it. Okay. You'll slowly understand. See, all these things are not needed. It is just to open up your mind. I'm just giving a different perspective. That's it. Okay. If you're able to understand, it is well and good. If you're not able to, don't take too much of stress also. One simple concept to be kept in your mind is, in this whole world, not only with your 10th standard, 11th standard, this whole world, whatever work is being done, will always get converted to some form of energy. That is why you open any textbook and see any definition for energy will always have work done it. At least a mathematical expression. Okay. So that's what I tried to relate. So I hope you guys are confident with the problems. Is there anyone having an issue with the problems? You can let me know. So problem, there is nothing. You have to directly apply the formula and do it. But if you want me to explain one or two examples, then I'm ready to do it. Or else we can move on to the next chapter.
So we can move on, sir.
Okay. Okay, one more point. I hope everybody knows this electric power, this thing also, right? The commercial unit of energy. I think I've asked a question also. So the commercial unit of energy. See, generally, how is power measured? So power is equal to V into I. What power is this? This is the electrical power. Correct? So this is what is given. See, power is equal to VI, I square R or V square by R. Now, what is the SI unit of power?
What?
What?
It is
What?
watt. So it is capital W. Actually, watt has an inner meaning of joule per second, correct? Because power is nothing but work done per unit time. So it is joule per second. That is what is written as work. So W into S, can I call it as joule?
Yes,
now I'm
sir.
going to do a small rearrangement with the units of power. So joule is a measure of what? Energy. Watt is a measure of power. And S is a measure of time. So this is another perspective in which you can relate energy to power into time. Now comes another question. What is the commercial unit of energy? So commercial unit means whenever you go to pay your electricity bill or something, there is some reference quantity that is used. So energy means you can either write it in terms of watt into second, or, so one thing I'm clear by now, energy means if I have power in my hand, if I multiply that power with time, irrespective of whatever is the system of unit, I'm going to get energy. So can I write energy like this also? Power in watt into time in hour. It is still going to be energy, but the only difference is this energy is no more going to be joule. Because what is joule? Joule is watt multiplied with second. I hope you're able to understand that. But watt multiplied by hour is not joule, but it is still energy. Similarly, can I write energy as, instead of watt, can I write it as kilowatt into hour? Kilowatt is also a unit of power, like how kilometer is a unit of distance, millimeter is a unit of distance, centimeter is a unit of distance. Similarly, kilowatt is also a unit of power, watt or kilowatt. R is the measure of time. So power into time is still going to give me energy. Now, what is this kilowatt into R called as? What is this, guys? This is
Unit.
what is the, we call it as 1 unit. This is called as a commercial unit of energy. Why we call it as commercial unit of energy is, all our electricity bills that are getting generated are measured in terms of kilowatt hour. If you have a meter, you will definitely have a meter outside your house. You can go and see, you will have a small wheel like this rotating, okay, in the meter, below which it will be written in terms of kWh. kWh stands for kilowatt hour. Okay. So 1 kilowatt hour according to electricity bill is technically called as 1 unit. I hope you're able to understand. So the commercial unit of electric energy is called as kilowatt hour. In generally, we call it as unit. So this might be a 1 mark question. 1 kilowatt hour is how many joules? Let's try to calculate. No, it's a simple thing. 1 kilowatt hour. Kilo means how much, guys? Kilos?
1,000.
1,000 watt multiplied with. Remember, I'm trying to write it in terms of joule. Joule is what? Joule is written in terms of watt into second. So 1,000 watt, and hour should be converted to seconds. So 1 hour is how many seconds?
3,600 seconds.
3,600 seconds. So the watt multiplied with second is going to give me joule. So 3,600 into 1,000 is going to give me 3.6 into 10 power 6 watt second. But this watt second is what is called as joule. Okay, this can also be a 1 mark question. And one more important point, guys. When you're saying the unit, never use plural. Reason for it, you learn in your 11th standard. Don't call it as joules. It is only joule. Whether it is 1 or more than one, you call it as joule only. You don't call it as 2 joules. 2 joule, that's it. You see, book also writes like that only. 3600 second, it is not seconds. Okay. Similarly, 1000 watt, not watts. Because there are certain rules, that rules you will learn next year. Don't worry about it. I hope this point is clear and registered, right? So problems, again, they are simple. You can try these problems out. If you have any doubt, you can approach me. Okay. Next. Shall I move on to the next chapter? Any other doubts from this chapter? Okay. Everybody?
No doubts, sir.
No doubt, sir.
No. Okay. And we'll move on. So next is called as the magnetic effects of current. Right. So what is this magnetic effects of current? Can someone tell me what is this chapter all about? What do we mainly learn in this?
Research experiments.
Oysters experiment. Okay.
Some
Due
rules.
to the flow of energy,
So what is it?
magnetic effect is produced.
Can you repeat it?
Due to the flow of energy, some electric current, some magnetic effect
Flow.
is produced.
Correct. That's right.
Flow of current.
So to put it in very simple terms, wherever electric current is there, around electric current there will always be magnetic field. That was observed. Okay. So that is the first observation which was done by the scientist.
Hans Christian.
Okay. So in this, the main terminologies that we are going to see are magnetic field and field lines. So what is the difference between magnetic field and field lines? Can someone tell me?
Magnetic field is the area
Okay.
in which the object can get attracted.
Need not be only attraction, it can be repulsion also, because magnetic force can be attractive or repulsive, right? So magnetic field is a region around a magnetic substance where you try to bring another substance, magnetic substance, it will start experiencing a force. Can I put it like this? Okay, like how you say it can get attracted. That's right. So it is a region around what? It is a region around the magnet. Don't use the word magnet, around a magnetic substance. Because in this chapter, we are not going to learn only about a permanent magnet. You learn about a temporary magnet also. What do you mean by a temporary magnet? So the main
breaking.
My voice is breaking. Is it clear now? If suppose I have a conductor where current is flowing. Okay. If suppose I have a conductor in which current is flowing, what can I observe around it? The region around this is going to be magnetic field. So what will happen in this magnetic field? You try to bring another magnetic substance, it will start experiencing a force. Okay, that's what this concept is. Okay. Now, what do we mean by these field lines?
The representation of magnetic fields.
Imaginary.
Okay, the representation of magnetic field. So how are these field lines actually? How these things?
Closed curved lines.
Closed loops. Closed loops.
So closed. Okay. So where do they start and where do they get end?
Emerge at
From North Pole to South Pole.
North
end
Pole
at
to
South Pole.
They start at the North Pole, they end at the South Pole, outside the magnet. Inside, what is going to happen?
Inside the magnet, south to north.
South Pole to North Pole.
They are from South Pole to North Pole. So how are you going to actually trace it? So how exactly can we identify it? That's what we need to know. So what is the activity that we can do to find out that this is the direction?
Place some iron fillings on a cardboard and connect it to the circuit, and we'll find that iron fillings arrange themselves on the magnetic field lines in the way.
Like how it is shown in the diagram. That is one way. Yes. Any other way?
That with the help of compass.
Okay. So how you do with the compass? If suppose this is the bar magnet I have. North Pole, South Pole. So what do you do?
It'll keep deflecting one side.
Okay. So if you place the compass here, what exactly should happen to the compass needle?
It will
Repel.
deflect.
Get
South
reflected.
pole.
It will get deflected. It will start rotating, rather. I can use this word, right? You can see that the compass needle will actually rotate. And see, if suppose the compass needle is in this way, okay, so the arrow mark is going to be the North Pole, the other end is going to be the South Pole. That is a known fact. So if you take this particular compass needle and keep it here, what do you think will happen to the needle? How will it get deflected?
The other
Let me
side.
put it.
The
The
other
needle is
side.
Suppose
the
I
needle
place the
acts
compass like
as
this.
magnet.
So the North Pole will get repelled away and the South Pole will get attracted towards the. Okay, then what you're supposed to do is place a point here. You take a pencil and you'll place a point here. Then what will you do to this compass? You'll again move it here. So when you move it here, you can see a slight deflection like this. I hope you're able to observe this. Again, you move it to some other point. Then what you can do is when you place all these points, the points will go like this. Okay. So when you join all these points in such a way that you're taking the direction of the North Pole, direction of North Pole of whom? Direction of the North Pole of the compass, then that will be the direction of the external magnetic field. Okay. So that is the direction of magnetic field. So how do you find the direction of magnetic field? So this is the experiment.
Right. Thumb rule.
No. How is it defined actually?
What? What is defined? What should we define?
How is it defined? With respect to the compass. So the direction in which the North Pole of the compass is facing will be the direction of the magnetic field at that particular point. So suppose I want to frame a question like this. Okay. Suppose, let's take it like this, north to south. If I take a curve like this, I'm interested. So I'm putting a question like this. Let's say it's a 1 mark question. I give you a point P. I am asking you, what is the direction of magnetic field at point P? How will you find it? How will you represent it? Represent the direction of magnetic field at point P. So what is the meaning of it? If you place a compass here, then what will happen to the needle inside the compass? The North Pole of the compass will be in this direction. Guys, are you able to understand this point? That is the meaning, right? So at every point, what did I say? The direction of the North Pole shown by the direction of the North Pole of the compass will give you the direction of the magnetic field at that point. If you don't know this point, make a note of it. Make a note.
So can I repeat?
I'll repeat it. Make a note. So the direction of North Pole of the compass, the direction in which the North Pole of the compass is facing, the direction in which the North Pole of the compass is facing gives the direction of magnetic field at a particular point. Okay. So if I ask you to represent the direction of magnetic field at point P, then what you need to do is you take the point P and draw a tangent at that point. So what is the meaning of this tangent, guys? Means if I place a compass here, the North Pole of my compass will face in this direction. You need not write that in. Okay. So make a note of it. To represent the direction of magnetic field at a given point, draw a tangent at that point. In the direction of magnetic field. Draw a tangent to whom? Draw a tangent to the magnetic field line at that point. Draw a tangent to the magnetic field line at that point in the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Suppose I want to find the magnetic field at point Q. What should I do?
Draw a tangent.
I'll draw a tangent. So which side should I put the arrow mark? Should I put it towards P or away from P?
Away from P.
It is away from P because what is happening? This is the direction of magnetic field. When it is coming here, it will go in this direction. Are you able to understand? So this part need not be represented. Guys, are you clear? These are all
Yes,
slightly
sir.
higher order thinking. Similarly, the relative strength, if suppose I ask you a question, I'm asking you to mark, I'm giving another 1 mark question. I give you this diagram, I'm asking you to mark the regions where the magnetic field is very high.
Near the
At the
poles.
end.
Near the
Near the poles.
So how is this diagram actually helping you to understand that it is near the
Because the
poles?
poles near
It's
it's
crowded.
Lines of club.
crowded.
Sorry?
Near the
So
poles
more
is crowded.
dense, exactly. More dense the field lines are, more is going to be the strength of the magnetic field at that point. Okay, that's good. Similarly, if you observe any two magnetic field lines, they do not intersect. Why?
Because when we place a compass at one point,
Because the
the
compass
field
cannot
lines.
Sir, because there
show
must be two directions.
Yeah,
There
they
may be
cannot.
two
The compass
directions.
cannot show two directions.
Exactly. The compass
Which is
cannot
not
show two
possible.
directions, which is not possible at the same time. Okay. So that is one way. That's enough. Now I told you, no? I told you an extra concept, right? That is, if you take a field line like this, if you take a field line like this cannot happen because if I take this as point P, how many tangents can you draw to these magnetic lines at point P?
4.
You can draw 2 tangents. If suppose I take
Yes, sir. 2.
these, you can draw 2 tangents, which is not possible. See, that is what we say. 2 tangents means 2 directions shown by the 2 north poles shown by the same compass, which is not possible. That's what they are given here. Now I hope you are able to understand the inner meaning of it. Right? So mathematically it is a tangent, experimentally it is a compass. That is the only difference. Next. Magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. So how do you find the direction of magnetic field?
The right hand thumb rule.
So what is the right hand thumb rule state?
Stretch your thumb finger and
When we
In the
hold an
direction of the current.
electricity carrying conductor in such way that our thumb points the direction of the current, then the curled fingers would point the direction of the magnetic field lines.
That's right. So which hand are you going to use? Right hand or left hand?
Right hand.
Sir.
Right hand thumb rule. Okay, that's clear. So everybody knows this, right? I hope you know that. If you want me to show an example, I can show it. I hope everybody is clear about it, right?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. So that is how they have drawn the field lines around this. Next. So right hand thumb rule.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me. Tell me that. What doubt is that?
Sir, how
You
does the
don't-
current flow if there is a deflection in the magnetic field, sir?
How does the current flow if there is a deflection in the magnetic field? That means,
Yes, sir.
how does the current flow if there is a deflection in the magnetic field? Means, what are you trying to ask? What deflection are you trying to talk about?
Sir, I'm just asking this question, sir. Or is there any activity to prove the flow of current when there is a deflection of magnetic field? Just a deflection means how
There
do
is
we know
nothing
that the
like
current is
deflection
flow?
of the see, like, try to understand the logic term. When you're talking, let me switch on the video. Who asked this? Niranjana?
Yes, sir.
So did you guys understand this question? He's asking what will happen if there is a deflection in the conductor, deflection in the magnetic field. I hope you're able to see it. See, I have a question, okay? Suppose I take this as the conductor. This arrow mark as the direction of current. Okay. So right hand thumb rule states like this. I need to take my right hand, place my thumb in the direction of current and curl your fingers as if you're going to hold it. Then this will be the direction of magnetic field. So this is the direction of magnetic field around. So this is a simple concept. So Niranjan, to answer your question, you're saying deflection in the magnetic field, right? There are two
Yes, sir.
scenarios. There are two scenarios. Deflection means deviation. That's what is the meaning. So, one magnetic field can be due to the conductor. So, the magnetic field that is getting generated around this conductor is decided by whom?
Sir, can you repeat your question, sir?
The magnetic field that is getting produced across this conductor is produced due to whom? It is controlled by whom?
Battery.
Current pass.
It is the direction of current in this conductor, right? So, this magnetic field can get deviated under what scenario?
When the direction of current is changed.
When the direction of current is changing. So, for that to happen, what should happen is, instead of being a linear conductor, if I start bending it into the form of a circle, maybe that can happen. That's it. You're able to understand? So, that's what a circular conductor is. Okay. So, there is nothing like deflection of magnetic field. Rather, what will happen is, inside a magnetic field, there is a possibility of a charged particle to get deflected. Those type of questions also we will see. That is possible. Okay, just like that, the magnetic field will not get deflected.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I hope this point is clear. Now, I just want to discuss this example problem. So there is a current through a horizontal power line which is flowing from east to west direction. What is the direction of magnetic field at a point directly above it and at a point directly below it? Sorry, at a point directly below it and at a point directly above it. So how to find? I took an example in this now, right? Which is flowing from east to west. Let's try this. So can someone tell me? So if I take it like this, tell me which is north, south, east, west.
East is the tip of your pen.
East and west. Okay. North, south, east, west. So east to west the current is flowing. So this is the direction in which the current is flowing. So place your thumb, and what is going to be the direction of magnetic field above it? How you present your hands? Is it so when you see it from that side? If you take this as a paper, is it into the paper or out of the paper?
Into the paper.
Into the paper.
So our answer is going to be, it is into the plane of the paper. And if you are able to find the direction of magnetic field due to any conductor in one direction, exactly on the other side of it, it will be in the opposite direction. That's the property of a magnetic field. Okay. Means one side if you say it is above, the other side is going to go. If one side you say it is into, the other side will be out of the plane. That's a very simple concept. Okay. So I hope you got the answer for this. They have not told anything. So I hope you guys got the answer, right? Above it is going to be into the plane and below it is going to be out of the plane. Next. So all these questions you should be knowing. So why don't two magnetic lines of force intersect? List the properties of magnetic lines of force. You can go through them. So all these points are the answers for the properties of magnetic lines of force is another word for magnetic field lines. I hope you know this. So magnetic lines of force is another name for magnetic field lines. Here they have asked magnetic lines of force. So please be careful about that. Draw magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. This also you know. It is from north to south pole outside the magnet and south to north within the magnet. Next. So what is the how do you find the direction of magnetic field through a circular loop? This also you know, right?
Right hand thumb rule.
So how do you
Right hand thumb rule.
Same right hand thumb rule. So if you know, so it is again like this. So one point I would like to
conductor.
I didn't get you. You want me to repeat it or what do you want?
No. It's
Straight
a
conductor.
collection of straight conductors, circular loop.
Okay, that's how you are visualizing. Okay, that's fine. That is one way. I just want to give you a different perspective to it. Listen to this. 1 minute. So, if I take this is a current. I took my charger. Okay. If I take and bend it in the form of a circle. Suppose the current is flowing like this. The current is flowing in this direction. It will be a straight current carrying conductor. Bent in the form of a circle, it is going to be a circular current carrying conductor. Okay. So let's say with respect to me, I'm saying the current is flowing in this direction. Okay. Current is flowing in which direction according to me? Is it anti-clockwise or clockwise?
According to us, it's clockwise. According to you, it's anti-clockwise.
It's anti-clockwise.
According to me, it is anti-clockwise, right? According to you, it is going to be clockwise. I hope this point is clear. So, when it is revolving in the anti-clockwise direction, okay, when the current is in this way, how do you find the direction of magnetic field? At this point,
if it is anti-clockwise, it is north.
Okay.
And if it is clockwise, it is south.
How do you know that? You're using clock rule, right?
Clock phase rule.
Okay.
Clock phase rule.
How did you get it? How do you know that that is going to show north? What is the reason? Simple. If there is any current carrying conductor in this world, whatever shape it takes, whatever shape the current carrying conductor takes, what is the one rule that you have in your hand to find the direction of it?
Right hand thumb rule.
Right hand thumb rule. So suppose the current is rolling, the current is going in the anti-clockwise direction. How do I find the direction of magnetic field at this point? That's what I need to think of. So thumb and in the tangential direction to the current. Does this make sense? Because with respect to me, current is in this direction. So if I draw a tangent, it is in this direction. Because current is going like this. I place my thumb. I curl my fingers like this. Okay, I curl my fingers like this. Then I will get the magnetic field lines to be in this shape. So when I see it from this side, what shape will I be able to see? It will be a circular ring around this circular conductor. Similarly, I want to find the magnetic field at this point. Then what will I do? If I want to find the magnetic field at this point, I place my thumb tangential to it. I curl my fingers. So it is going to be another ring here, correct? Right? So what is going to be there? It is going to be some circular rings. So as I move towards the center, I can observe that the circular ring's radius will become big.
Concentric circle.
If this is how the circular ring is, if I turn it from this side, how is it going to appear?
Straight line.
It's like a circular ring. So again, as you move away, you can see that the radius of the circle. So if it is close, no, the circular ring will be this small. Away. Because closer the conductor is to the current, okay, closer the point is to the current or the current carrying conductor, stronger will be the magnetic field. Means for the magnetic field to be stronger, what should happen is the radius of the circle should be small. Correct? That is why you can see more number of lines closer to the magnet. As you move away, the radius will increase. That is why if you observe the diagram that they have shown, how is it actually? You're able to see that the radius is increasing. And at the center, what will happen? It will go like this. Correct, Adam? Are you able to understand this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Means actually, see, this is not the end. This is actually a circular ring like this, but of a slightly bigger radius. This will have even more bigger radius. That is the meaning. So it keeps going like this. Since we don't want to show everything, so everything is a circular ring only. We have shown only a small arc. Correct? And in which direction are you seeing? You're actually seeing the conductor. You're not seeing the conductor like this. You're actually seeing the cross-sectional view of it. You're seeing it like this. So that's what the question is. Now, coming back to my question. Anti-clockwise means you people told North Pole. Clockwise means you told South Pole. How? So anti-clockwise
Because of the
means
current's
north.
direction.
No, current's direction is anti-clockwise. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. No, I try to create.
Oh, is it because the when we use the right hand thumb rule, we see that
Thumb rule, okay.
at one side the magnetic field lines are emerging out and one side they're merging back in. So when we notice in whatever direction the current is going, we will notice that when we even in the diagram that you just showed, if we see that, we can see that they're emerging out from north and merging back in south. So
Sir?
Students, am I audible?
Sir?
Yeah.
yes.
I'm audible, right? Yeah, someone was saying the answer. My screen lost. I'm sharing my screen. Now tell me, someone was telling me the answer.
Yeah, so when we see the diagram that you just showed, we can see that the rays, the magnetic field lines out from one side and merge in from one side. So when they emerge out, that would be the north pole, I mean the north side, and when they merge in, it would be the south.
Perfect. That's the answer. That's the answer. Okay, because what does the direction of magnetic field lines say? The magnetic field lines always originate from the North Pole and they go towards the South Pole. Where? Outside the magnet. And inside the magnet, they are from the south to north. Correct? So if you observe, this is South Pole. Where is it? This is the South Pole. This is the North Pole. So south to north within the magnet. Now this whole wire, the whole brown color wire is a magnet. It's a current carrying loop. So South Pole to North Pole means what should happen? That should be the direction of magnetic field. Now let me show you. Now, when you see the current in the anti-clockwise direction, so when I use the right hand thumb rule with respect to me, when I showed the right hand thumb rule with respect to me, was the magnetic field towards me or away from me?
Could you repeat that, sir?
So this is how I place the conductor. You saw that white color wire which I showed, right? This is how I place the conductor. Now the question is, when I applied the right hand thumb rule to this particular conductor, was the magnetic field towards me or away from me?
Away from you.
Think and tell me. When I applied the right hand thumb rule at point, it was towards me. It was towards me means, if I take this as the paper, then the magnetic field lines are coming from this side. So if I call this as the front side, back side also you have. So front side, the field lines are coming towards me. Which pole has the ability to emit the magnetic field lines? It is
North.
North. Okay. Whereas at the back of the conductor, what will happen? The current is flowing in the clockwise direction. So it is going to be south pole.
South.
Okay. So this is a very, very important rule. One point I would like to mention here is, magnets or magnet, write it down. Magnets always exist as dipole. This is other extra information. I hope you know what is a dipole, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do you
even
mean
if you cut the magnet, still have north and south pole.
It will still have north and south pole. So di means two, pole refers to polarity. So magnets will always have two poles. Irrespective of the size of the magnet, it will always have two poles. In a similar way, current carrying, make a note of this point, guys. Current carrying circular loops or current carrying loop for that matter, it need not be circular. Even if I give you a random shape, current carrying loop always acts as a magnetic dipole. Why so? Because for the same conductor, when I see from my side, if the current is flowing the anti-clockwise direction, I am actually seeing which side of the magnet? I am seeing the north pole of the magnet, whereas you guys are seeing the south pole of the magnet, and both are happening for the same conductor. So is it still not having the north and the south pole within it? Provided it is a loop. This is another important point. So they can frame a question based on this also. They can give a question like this. Current carrying loop always acts as a magnetic dipole. Yes or no?
Oh, so the normal current carrying conductor can't be considered as dipole?
No. The current carrying conductor, which is open, cannot be considered. If someone asks you a question, is a straight current carrying conductor a magnetic dipole? Answer is a straight no. Okay. Whereas if the same conductor is bent in the form of a loop, it need not be circle again. I'm repeating it. It can be a square loop also. It can be a loop like this, provided it is a closed surface. If the conductor is in the closed surface, yes, it acts like a dipole. Because if I take this randomly shaped conductor also, I am able to see current is flowing in the anti-clockwise direction. So which side am I seeing actually? I am actually seeing the north pole.
No.
Whereas on the back side, it will be the south pole. Guys, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's good. Next. What is the direction of magnetic field due to current in a solenoid?
Similar to
the bar magnet.
Yes. Actually, there is a concept that solenoid is equivalent to a bar magnet. Okay. If you take what is a solenoid actually? If you take a soft iron core, what is the magnetic material that is used, guys? So this is also an important question. We use a soft iron core. In the exam, if you write only iron core, no, answer is wrong. You need to mention that word soft iron core. Why that soft? I cannot give you the reason beyond the point.
Can I say, sir?
Please tell me. If you know, tell me.
Because whenever why is it soft? I don't know, sir.
Okay, then it's fine. I don't want to stress beyond this. You will get confused. Okay. So, but don't forget the word soft iron. Okay, that's one important point I'm trying to stress. Okay, you know what is a core, right? So, core is the base that is used around which you're going to do a winding. If you take the windings in the form of a length, then this kind of an electromagnet is what is called as solenoid. Okay, so a coil of many circular turns of insulated copper wire wrapped closely in the shape of a cylinder is called as a solenoid. So the pattern of the magnetic field lines around a current carrying solenoid is as shown in the figure, and you can observe they are very much similar to what? They are similar to a bar magnet. So again, you know how to find the direction, right? So the same logic as what I used for a circular current carrying conductor. If suppose they can frame a question like this. If suppose they frame a question like this. This is there. No? I'm just trying to frame a question. So the diagram 13.11 is there. I am asking you to label the ends of the solenoid as north and south pole. Which is going to be north pole, which is going to be south pole. You guys tell me.
Wherever similar to that one is not.
I'll give you option left and right. left and right?
The right side is
Left,
north.
left is South Pole, right is North Pole.
Left is South Pole,
South Pole,
right is
Right is north.
North Pole.
North.
reason.
Because it's going inside the magnet south to north, left.
Okay. So
Then
that
the
is
field
when you
lines
see
are-
from the left hand side, it's very simple. When you see from the left hand side, what is the direction of current you're able to see? Is it anti-clockwise or clockwise?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise always acts like a north pole. If you are able to find the north, other side is obviously going to be a south pole.
Sir, I have a doubt in this.
Tell me.
According to the circuit it's connected in, the current should pass from positive to negative. So shouldn't they be the magnetic field lines be going in the other way? But they've given it's like they're
Which one
pointing
you're
the
referring-
arrows downwards in
For
the figure
13.11.
13.11.
Okay. No, that arrow
is
is
flowing
not.
from
No. I think you're getting confused. This arrow is what you're trying to
the
talk about.
coil they're trying to do. Okay.
Yeah, that arrow is the direction of current. It's not the direction of magnetic field.
Okay, I thought that was a magnetic field line direction. It's
No. Now, what you guys can do is you can do a small analysis here and see whether this is right or not. Okay. So here, what is happening? No, here see, current is going in this direction. No, I will zoom and show. So at the top, if you observe, no, the current is going into the plane. So when current is going into the plane, you see from this side, will the current appear anti-clockwise or clockwise? Actually speaking, this diagram is not. This diagram is actually not clear. Okay, but they have just mentioned it as North Pole and South Pole. But if it see, there are very rarely they ask this kind of question. But if it comes, this is how you find. What the technique is, I will give you the steps to be followed. You take one of the sides, from one of the sides, observe the direction of current. If the direction of current is anti-clockwise, North Pole. The direction of current is clockwise, it is South Pole. Simple rule. Okay. So next is, compare the pattern of the field with the magnetic field around a bar magnet. Do they look similar? Answer is yes, they are. These are all the 1 mark questions that are possible. In fact, one end of the solenoid behaves as a magnetic North Pole, while the other behaves as a South Pole. So the field lines inside the magnet are in the form of parallel straight lines. This is another important point, guys. Okay. The field lines inside the solenoid are in the form of parallel straight lines. This indicates that the magnetic field is same at all points inside the solenoid. Just make a note of this point. Is the magnetic field same at every point within the magnetic within the solenoid? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Can we use the same logic for a circular loop?
No, circular loop it will not be the same because it varies from point to point. There is a mathematical explanation also. Okay, that unfortunately I can't show that, but it is not the same. Okay, it is applicable only for a solenoid. Generally, these kind of solenoids, they have not mentioned here, they are called as long solenoids. Long solenoid, what is the meaning of long solenoid is? Thickness of the solenoid is very small compared to its length. So long means thickness is small compared to whom? 1 minute. Thickness is small compared to length. So if this kind of condition is satisfied, we call it as long solenoid. All the information that they have given here is applicable only for a long solenoid. But for 10th standard level, if they mention it as solenoid, you can understand. Whatever is given in the NCERT, you just follow it. That's it. Blindly go with it. Nothing outside it. Okay. So one more important point, they can put a question like this. They can give an assertion reason like this. The statement is, magnetic field inside a solenoid is same at all the points. Reason. Sorry, I'm correcting myself. The field inside a solenoid is uniform. That is a statement, assertion. Reason. The magnetic field inside a solenoid is the same at all points.
True.
Yeah.
So assertion is true, reason is true.
The reason is the correct explanation of.
Reason gives a correct explanation. The reason is the correct explanation for assumption. Okay. Similarly, so due to this current, what will happen is there will be a strong magnetic field produced inside the solenoid, which can magnetize a piece of magnetic material like soft iron when placed inside the coil. The magnet so formed is called as an electromagnet. Okay. So make a note of it. So electromagnets means, if you try to break the word electro, refers to electricity. Magnet is obviously related to magnetism. So if there is magnetism existing in the material due to the electricity, we call that magnetism as electromagnetism. And those kind of magnets are called as electromagnets. In general, electromagnets are also called as temporary magnets because they can exhibit the property of magnetism only till the current is flowing. Once the current, sorry?
Yes, sir, I was telling the same thing, sir.
Okay. Once the current is removed, it loses its magnetism. So that's what an electromagnet is. Okay. So all very small points, but they are very important points. So you need to have a clarity in that.
Sir, that's the same property of soft iron core.
Yeah, that's the reason. See, soft iron core, it is used because, okay, I don't want to stress.
Because whenever they mention is turned off, the magnetism gets down, but some materials, the magnetism remains for 1-2 minutes.
Exactly, that's the thing. So the reason why we use, see, what will happen is the solenoid. So due to current in the solenoid, magnetism is generated. When you take a magnetic material and place it in magnetic field, okay. If suppose you have an iron rod in your hand, you take that iron rod and place it in you rub it against a magnet and try to go and attract other particles. It will start getting attracted. So where did the iron rod actually get the magnetism from? So I'm repeating it. Listen. Suppose I give you an iron rod, a small rod like this. You take it close to some nails, some iron nails. You can observe this iron rod will not be able to attract the iron nails. Why? Because it has no magnetism in it. Now, if I take this iron rod and rub it with some magnet for some time, okay, then I take it close to these nails, what do you think will happen?
It will attract.
It will attract the nails. Okay, forget about rubbing also. If I take a magnet and connect it here, okay, this iron rod will get attracted to this magnet. Now, this combination, the magnet plus the iron rod, will it be able to attract the nails?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Only the magnet would, the iron rod wouldn't. Because the iron rod doesn't have the magnetism, only the magnet does.
Yes, that's what you're thinking, but it will get attracted because this magnet will create magnetism to this material. It will transfer some property of it to it. You're able to understand? So the logic here is, whenever you take any magnetic substance, when I say magnetic substance, it doesn't mean magnet. Magnetic substance means the substance which can get magnetized. For example, this iron rod. Now, with respect to a solenoid, where is this iron rod placed? Iron rod is placed within this wire. So this wire is generating magnetism. This wire is generating magnetic field.
Then definitely the rod will generate.
So what will happen to this iron rod which is placed inside the solenoid?
It will also
it will also get magnetized. So that is the point they are trying to say. Listen to this carefully. A strong magnetic field produced inside a solenoid can be used to magnetize a piece of magnetic material. So whatever material is there inside the solenoid, if this rod is there, no, this rod can also get magnetized. Clear? So if it is getting magnetized, we don't want that material to get highly magnetized, and that is the reason why we use soft iron core. If you use hard iron, what will happen is the rod inside will become a permanent magnet. We don't want that to happen. So that is the reason why soft iron is used. Again, You need not worry about that question. You just need to remember what material is used inside a solenoid. The answer is soft. That is the only. That's it. That's the only thing. This extra information is only for you guys to understand what is going on.
So they asked a question related to this.
Sorry?
They asked a question related that why soft.
They will not ask. Don't worry. They will not ask. They will not ask. Whichever is not. Sorry?
They asked why is soft iron core used.
No. Nobody will ask. Nobody will ask. Nobody will ask. Don't worry. Outside NCERT, they will not go. Don't worry. See, I'm again repeating it. I'm telling all these points so that you get some interest while you're studying this. Your thought process will become better. That is the only reason I'm explaining. But you need not go anything outside NCERT. They will not ask. If you're strong with this, that's more than sufficient. Okay. So, this is all about magnetic field due to a current in a solenoid. So next class, I will focus upon the force on a current carrying conductor in magnetic field and how to find the directions. Okay, so that we will see in the next class.
Okay, sir.
So that's it from my end.
Sir.
So what is that?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, in my school exam, sir, they asked a question like the relative strength of magnetic field is shown by what?
Your voice was breaking up. I didn't get you. Repeat it.
The relative strength of magnetic field is shown by what?
The closeness of core.
Shown by that's the answer. Closer the magnetic field lines, stronger is the magnet. The relative strength means comparative strength. Okay. So if I put a question like this, relative abdina physics the comparison arthanda. That is the meaning. It's not a very big term. See, for example, I can put I can try it out in a different way. Just can you give me a minute? The charge in my pencil is over. Just give me a minute. Don't log off.
Yes.
So I will slightly twist the question. See. I'm giving you two regions. Okay. I'm putting the same question in a different way. Compare the strength of the magnetic field at point 1 and point
2 is stronger than 1. Magnetic field in point 2 is stronger than magnetic field in point 1.
So magnetic field at point 2 is stronger compared to the point 1. So what is the logic you are using? What is the reference you are using?
The 2 is crowded. The magnetic field.
Because of the reference you are using is that's it, the density. So that's the answer. Whatever you asked.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it. So anything else, guys?
Sir, you said that something is made out of soft iron core. What is it? Made out of soft iron.
What is it? I'm saying the core, the core around which the wire of a solenoid is wound is soft iron.
Okay.
Core means base.
Base, the center.
Core is something like a base. That's it.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
So you guys, you guys can go through all the concepts that I gave. Okay, start thinking more. You yourself try to frame as many questions as possible. If you have any other question, you can approach me. Okay, you have the number, right? The number is 636. What is the number? I think everybody has it, right? Just a minute. I suddenly forgot. 6369 210 899. Administration 6369 210 899. Okay. So that's it from my side, guys. Let's log off. Yeah, we can log off.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
So there's a rule called right hand grip rule, sir. You can find out the north pole using a north pole of a solenoid using that. Sir?
The screen is lagging there.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, Shishant. And he didn't even tell
Plan
successful. Let's give a high five.
Srilekha Nani.
Srilekha didn't know. She only knew the circular loop. I can beat her. If we'll have IQ test in magnetic effects, I can beat her. What happened? Yeah, they don't know this sir. Abhishek sir. First this sir, Abhishek sir. Studied aerospace. Okay, aerospace next 11th standard. You can learn about aeronautical engineering basics. That you can learn from Abhishek sir, but he won't teach that. But according to real physics, electricity, thermomagnetism, thermoelectromagnets, and thermodynamics, and this sir is the best. Can't beat this sir. Happiness can be found in the best of things. What's recorded throughout this meeting, bro?